Greetings, my name is Dan Irvin, Executive Director for the Greater Farmington Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to another edition of Business Builders Corner. Our first guest today is Thomas Pascaris with Pascaris Law Firm PLLC. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Dan.
Hey, Thomas, you are located in downtown Farmington, and you have been for some time now, 5 years roughly, correct?
I just moved my office 2 years ago.
Okay.
My business has been open for 5 years now.
Wonderful. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why you chose Farmington?
Well, I grew up in Farmington. I graduated from Farmington High School. I've always had ties to the community. I owned a previous restaurant in Farmington Hills and other friends and family in the area, so I've always stayed local and true to Farmington.
Wonderful. Why don't you tell a little bit everybody what your areas of practice are?
My areas of practice mainly consist of estate planning, divorce, bankruptcy, and I do some real estate and immigration work as well.
What makes your business unique to the community?
My business is unique in the fact that I'm able to provide my clients with personalized attention. Being a smaller law firm, I strive to give all my clients a commitment, individualized attention.
Okay, and you said that you had previously owned or had been into the restaurant business. What made you get into practicing law?
Well, I've always had a passion for it. The restaurant was a family business that I took over and operated for a while, but I always knew that I wanted to become a lawyer and go down that path.
And Thomas, you've been a member of the chamber for a few months now. How has the chamber helped you in your practice?
I've gotten several clients from being affiliated with the chamber, meeting various different people that are in the chamber or through chamber events, and also I've joined a referral network group within the chamber that has given me some clients, and I've given other people business as well.
Wonderful. Why don't you describe for everybody what your best day in business has been?
My best day in business, I would say, was recently I had a client, an elderly gentleman, that I secured a sizable reward on his behalf, and that just made me feel really great because I knew how much he really needed the money for his retirement and to pay his medical debt that he had accumulated to that day. Just having, clients like that or being able to help them in that kind of way is a great day for me.
What has been the biggest surprise in running your own law practice?
Not sure if it's a surprise, but to some it might be. The fact that you have to wear so many hats as a business owner and, in my case, an attorney. I'm not just, if I worked for someone else, I could just be an attorney. But in this case, I have to be a business owner, an accountant, an attorney, and wear all the hats simultaneously.
Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your background? I know you said you were in the restaurant business, but elaborate more on that and talk a little bit about your education and work experience.
Well, like I said, I graduated from here in Farmington, at Farmington High in 2000. I moved on to U of M Dearborn, where I graduated with a degree in finance and business management. I then went on to Thomas M. Cooley Law School, where I got my law degree. My work experience, I've got over 15 years of management and owning and operating restaurants, and about 2 to 3 years of prior legal experience at other law firms in the metro area.
So how do you define success as a business owner?
To me, success as a business owner would be having a profitable business, being able to employ others in that business, and having a great work-life balance, so you're able to spend time with your family and friends.
Sure, absolutely. It is important to have that balance. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I'd like to expand my business, hiring more employees and other attorneys. And I would also like to get involved with the Farmington DDA and possibly other local politics.
Is there anything else unique, special you'd like the residents of Farmington, Farmington Hills, or anyone watching this show to know about your practice?
Just that We are able to serve all different kinds of clients, from individuals to small businesses. We handle a variety of practice areas, and if I can't help you with a legal problem, I have someone in my network or other attorneys in my firm that can help you.
So you just, the customer service for you is very important.
Yes, and creating that relationship with the clients is very important, and meeting their goals.
What are your hours of operation?
Hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and nights and weekends by appointment only.
And how would someone get a hold of you?
Can contact the office on our telephone, 248-893-6090, or by email at contact@pascarislaw.com.
All right. Well, Thomas, I'd like to thank you for joining us today and telling us more about your business. And we look forward to a long relationship with you as a chamber member. And it was really, really nice to see that transition from one industry to the other. And I know you service the community, and you're all about community. So
Thank you, Dan.
thank you very much. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Greetings, my name is Dan Irvin, Executive Director for the Greater Farmington Area Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to welcome you today to the ribbon cutting and grand opening celebration for Identicom Sign Solutions. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Ken Massey, Mayor of Farmington Hills, to say a few words on behalf of the city.
Thank you very much, Dan. John, thank you for relocating your business to Farmington Hills. We wish you much success.
I'm glad I came to Farmington Hills. I just came from down the street in Novi. We are manufacturers of exterior and interior graphics and signs. My business for national is thriving, is doing great, but I want to really focus on doing work here in Farmington Hills and in Southeast Michigan.
We welcome you to the community and to the chamber. Whenever you're ready, you can cut your ribbon.
Here we go.
Thank you. Welcome back. Joining us now is Sue Fitzpatrick with the Livonia Montessori School. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you
to be here.
Thanks for being here. And you guys are located in Livonia on 7 Mile Road.
That's correct.
Which is, you're our neighbor.
Exactly.
And we're glad to have you as a member, and we're glad to have you on today's show. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the school?
The school. Well, we have been in existence for over 40 years. We are one of the oldest Montessori schools in the area. We serve children 3 to 6 and a 5-day program, and we also have before and after care.
Sue, why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes the school unique?
What makes us unique? What makes us unique is that we are a Montessori school, and so that differs a little bit from a traditional preschool. The Montessori method is one that promotes free activity within a prepared environment. And by that I mean an environment that's prepared for that child, tailored for the children. What is also unique about a Montessori preschool is rather than having all the 2-year-olds together, all the 3-year-olds, we mix 3 years together. So we have 3s, 4s, and 5s together. And what that does is create a lovely learning environment where the younger children learn actually from the older children, sometimes quite a bit more than they learn from the teacher.
Sure.
And the older children become leaders and actually, cement their knowledge, but really learn what they have learned by teaching it to the younger children. So that makes us a little more unique than a traditional preschool program.
Sounds like there's a lot of pride in that too.
There's a lot
Wonderful.
of pride.
Tell us a little bit about what made you get into this type of business.
What made me get into my own children and seeing how they benefited, seeing their confidence in their own learning, seeing their excitement to go to school, seeing their ability to express themselves and to choose a task, begin it, and finish it, and start on something else. The friends that they made and the things that they learned and the interest. They were interested in so many things at that age. They were interested in maps and geography and all kinds of questions. So,
Sue, why don't you tell us a little bit about what is a Montessori?
What is a Montessori? Okay. A Montessori school, again, is a educational program that promotes free activity within a prepared environment. And these environments are tailored for individual children. They are spacious, they are beautiful, and they allow a child to choose things of their own interest. So in other words, they're more child-centered than teacher-centered.
Okay.
The activity in a Montessori classroom is directed most by the interests and the development of the child rather than by the teacher.
So how does the classroom work?
How does the classroom work? The classroom works by having these educational activities available for the children to choose off shelves. They are within reach. They work independently often, and they work together. Children will have a lesson from a teacher on a new material or a new activity that's being put in the classroom, and then they're free to choose it. The activities are arranged in a way that go from easier to more difficult and challenging, and that way it appeals to any child who is there from age 3 to age 5. There's been a lot of thought and research put into these materials. Montessori was actually a scientist and a doctor, so they appeal to children at this particular age.
With that research, how can you tell if a program is an authentic Montessori program?
That's a good question, and it's a very good question because the Montessori name is not copyrighted. So many schools will put Montessori on their building, and you need to know what to ask. There probably are 5 really good markers to know if a Montessori program is authentic. One of them is that the teachers are actually trained and certified by a Montessori program. That's probably the first one. The next is that there is, within the structure of the day, 2.5 to 3 hours of independent work time where the children can work to their own choices. Another marker would be that there is a full complement of the Montessori materials, and these are materials that have been researched, and they are amazing materials, just amazing materials. They can teach concepts to a 3-year-old, length, depth, and height. They can teach math concepts of quantity, and they teach them just by playing with them. That's the beauty of them. So all of those, the whole series of the Montessori materials need to be there. So teachers, protected work time, the Montessori materials. A 4 to 5 day program is also important. So,
Are Montessori programs religious schools?
no, not necessarily. Montessori is an approach to education. I guess it would be best understood as a curriculum. Now, that being said, many religious schools will use a Montessori curriculum, but Montessori itself is not religious. In fact, we have many children from many different backgrounds where if we were a religious school, it would not be appropriate. But we have various cultures in our school. It's very diverse.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Do you have any well-known, notable Montessori alumni?
Indeed we do, and I think they would surprise you. One of the things that people wonder about Montessori, it being 100 years old as a program and as an education method, is people ask, is it outdated? But our very well-known Montessori graduates are the people who have developed what is part of our everyday life in the 21st century. So the founder of Amazon was Montessori educated, the founder of Google, the founder of Wikipedia, and the founder of AOL. Also, you might have heard of the SimCity games and The Sims. That person was also Montessori educated. So a lot of creative people, a lot of interesting thinkers, current entertainers. So P. Diddy is Montessori educated. Writers, Anne Frank, Jacqueline Onassis was Montessori educated. Some other famous people that are associated with Montessori. The very first Montessori school was opened in the house of Alexander Graham Bell in 1912.
Okay.
In 1915, Thomas Edison invited her to come to the United States, and she had an award-winning classroom set up at the San Francisco World Fair that year. So there are a lot of things about Montessori that aren't widely known.
Sure, it sounds like it. Yeah.
So she's universal. She met the needs of the children then, and she is meeting the needs of the children now. In fact, keeping those alumni in mind, you might have heard in the education field these days, what are we trying to prepare our children for the next century? There's such a explosion of information. How can we teach them? And what we're finding is that in teaching children to learn how to learn, and how to be resilient, and how to be flexible, and how to be creative, and how to persist. These are the qualities that the Fortune 500 are looking for on top of the 4 R's. So those are more important.
Other than things we covered, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss about the school?
Well, we're really proud of our current facility. It's just been opened a few years ago from where we were before. It's a beautiful facility just about a mile south of the Farmington border. And it's sunny, lots of space, lots of access to a beautiful outdoor environment. And we're quite happy with that. And our staff, we have very low turnover. Our staff has been with us for years. They're all well educated, they're all well credentialed, and they love children.
Wonderful. If somebody wanted to enroll their student, when does the open enrollment start?
We have walk-in Wednesdays.
Okay.
So any Wednesday morning, we're available to see the school. Enrollment is most advantageous for children in the fall.
Okay.
So September would be the best starting point for their adjustment and for their development.
Sure.
We do take children in the middle of the year, depending on space. We also have a summer program, which is great for people looking for care or enrichment for their preschoolers during the summer.
What are the normal hours of operation outside of the walk-in Wednesdays?
Oh, okay. We open at 7. We have childcare that begins at 7. The classrooms begin at 8:45, and we'll have a half a day in the morning, often half a day in the afternoon. That runs from 8:45 to about 11:30. There's lunch, nap for the younger ones. Afternoon classes may go till about 3:15, and then we have aftercare, daycare till 6.
Wonderful. How can somebody get a hold of you if they were looking, they're watching this right now and they want to get a hold of you? What's the best avenue?
Okay. Call the school.
Okay.
Patty Porter is our wonderful administrator there, and you can go online, or the number is 248-474-4764.
Wonderful. Sue, thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure to have you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for
you.
inviting me.
Thank you. This wraps up this edition of Business Builders Corner, and I thank you for joining us, and always remember to shop Chamber members first. Thank you.